Hey guys, how's it going? This is Sam Gan, sending you guys this video from Singapore, from my house specifically. Hope you guys are doing well over there in Charleston. A little bit about me. So I'm 24. I'm half Singaporean, half Malaysian. My mom's Singaporean, my dad's Malaysian. I was born in Hong Kong. I grew up there. I lived there for 12 years. But actually then I moved to Kuala Lumpur, and I was there until 17. So when I headed to Australia for VCE, for an A-level equivalent. And then I was in university in Sydney for a while. And now I'm back in Singapore. It's been an interesting journey so far. I feel pretty blessed and grateful to have the opportunity to be exposed to so many cultures growing up. It's definitely been a blessing. I consider myself a TCK, so it's like a third culture kid. It's a little bit about me. So maybe more specifically, a story about myself. It's been hard to I've been trying to figure out a way to share something that really represents who I am, and I think that I will share from the basis of this. The title of I was thinking of a story. The title of the story that I would share would be "Turning Adversity into Advantage." A bit of context about me. I grew up quite a self-assured guy, pretty cruisy. I've never been the best student growing up, but I made it into a decent university in Sydney. I went to UNSW for a degree in exercise physiology. I ended up not finishing that degree because something happened to me during that time. I stopped the degree in my middle of my second year and picked up CrossFit. Like I was really into fitness in that time. I was really into movement anyway, and my passion, and decided to take a break from uni. In that time, I picked up CrossFit, but a few months later, I got a back injury, and that's kind of the first real adversity or kind of struggle in my life that I was exposed to, and it really changed so many things for me. I mean, looking back on it now, they say that you live your life forward and you understand it looking back. I think I understand so much about the blessing in disguise that was this sort of period of my life of struggling through this injury, not just the physical pain, but the mental pain of not, being able to do what I love. And I struggled for quite a while. But through this process, the struggle, something inside me refused to accept this struggle, refuse it as being all there is, the banality of just accepting pain as it is. And I decided to repurpose the pain that I was feeling into a purpose, a strength, if you will. And for me, every time I was in a low point, I would remind myself, hey, you're experiencing this as an opportunity to deepen, your empathy for others who are feeling this, and also a chance to solve this for yourself and then to help others. Then you have a way to add value. And for me, that's something I'm still living out. It's still a narrative that is still ongoing. My rehab, I'm constantly learning more and more about what it means to live in the human body. So the mind and the body, both are one. They're interrelated. And the more I learn, the more I'm able to share. As a movement coach, I haven't been certified, but that's a goal as well, to share and be able to guide people through their own pain and injury. And so, yeah, that's kind of a narrative and a story about myself. And that feeds directly into, let me get a list of all the questions just in case I lose my train of thought. But the second question, what's the hardest thing I've ever worked on? I think it's directly in line with my story. It's myself. Through the injury, hardest thing was shedding limiting self-beliefs, believing that I would get better and that there's a purpose in the struggle that I was going through. And so it's still it's still a challenge every day to be better every day, physically and mentally, and in terms of the visions and plans that I want to execute in real life. And the next question that you guys asked and posed is, when was the last time you changed a belief and what was it? And this is kind of interesting because it's actually just the other week. I explained before, I've never been the best student, and I think once I went through this injury, it was kind of a catalyst in my life for changing my perspective. I realized what I had learned in university had no application to real life. Actually, what I learned about the body actually got me injured, and it opened my perspective to all these other aspects of life, and it started making me question at first, grudgingly, and I was pretty angry about some of the things that are happening in the world. But now I think the perspective is more a sincere question of how things can be done better. And I think the belief that changed in me going through the educational system, I always thought I was kind of a failure. Not a failure, but I'm not smart. Not as smart. I'm a failure. I actually thought I was a failure. All my friends have graduated, and I'm still stuck in. I struggle with uni work and the concept of university itself. And I think the change in belief went from finally realizing and acknowledge that I have unique strengths and talents that make me a value add, not because of the degree or not because of a result that I haven't achieved, but I am not a product of my circumstance, but the belief is that I am how I see myself in my circumstance, which has given me the courage to step out and decide to step into this new phase and journey to acknowledge and embody this feeling and this change in belief. And that's why I decided to pursue Praxis and send this application in a sense. And so there's another question about value add. How would I add value to a business? And I definitely experience-wise, I've worked in a couple of education-based companies on a part-time basis and for a short period of time. One was quantum education in KL, and they actually bring in a camp from the US called Super Camp that teaches kids life skills, and so character building skills and learning skills. And I really loved that, and it really kind of reignited, especially I just started working with them when the injury was quite bad, and it reignited a passion I realized for youth, a passion you need for youth and for the next generation. And through that process, I was a team leader, and I helped with the admin and the running of the workshops. It taught me that I was I'm collaborative. It taught me servant leadership, so not just to lead the teams in terms of the facilitation discussions, but to connect with the kids and whoever it is. So I feel I'm a good team player. I love people and connecting, and also the admin side to work with people to make a project happen. I know I definitely have still a lot of skills I would love to develop, and I'm constantly learning every day. And I think a part of the value that I would add is also my vision and just a passion that comes from a very solid vision in wanting to add value, especially in the area of education, and alternate education, and transforming the landscape of education. And lastly, a philosopher and a thinker that I'm currently, you asked a favorite philosopher. I actually don't have a favorite. There are quite a few thinkers, like thought leaders in different spaces, like health and education and life in general. But right now I'm reading a book by this guy called Urban McManus called The Artisan Soul, and he talks about the fact that if you have a soul, that you are born to be creative and that you're created to create. This guy is like part philosopher, psychologist, anthropologist, and theologian. It's amazing. I love his perspective in life, and I'm really enjoying this book and just really, I really want to embody, and I want to see this concept of creativity embodied in the world, that everyone has the opportunity to express their unique creativity, even for myself, to embody that and to live it out. And so that's that's a little bit about me. I thank you so much for your time and listening, and thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share about myself. Hope to hear from you guys soon, and excited at the prospect to be working with you guys. Cheers. See you later.